Hi all, good evening. So welcome to this session. So here we're discussing about means we have a mock interview today, and the intention is not to judge anyone like how much he or she knows. Okay, the main intention of this session is to give you an idea how to answer questions during interview. Okay, it doesn't matter that how much you know, but it matters that how much you have answered and the way you have answered the question in the interview that matters a lot. Okay, so that is what I will tell you because I have been in this recruitment panel for a long time. I have been with Infosys, with Fidelity, so I have been a part of recruitment team. So when we take interview for any participant, so we get a proper training like on what all parameters we have to test. So different parameters are there like technical skill, soft skill, communicational skill. Okay, so all those things are there on which we have to test a particular candidate. So today we have Shehbaz on call. So he'll be our candidate. I will ask few questions, but again, my intention is not to judge anyone how much he or she knows. So feel free. Okay. And meanwhile, if you guys have any question, you can ask to me, not to Shehbaz. Okay. Fine. Before I start, do you have any question, anyone? Any question? No. Okay. So Shehbaz, can you introduce yourself? You're on mute, Shehbaz. I think you're on mute.
Thank you so much for this opportunity. Myself, Mohammed Shahbaz. I'm currently working with Byju's, and basically, I'm from Odisha. And I have completed BCom in accounting honors, and then I have joined Tech Mahindra, and where I was working as a customer support associate. And I have an experience. Overall experience is 4 years and 10 months, in which I have worked for customer service uh, like as in customer service particular agent as for 2 years, and after that as there was a requirement in the team and I was learning Excel onto that point, so I have switched with leadership Amazon's leadership team. I have got a chance to work in that team, and where I used to handle the escalations over the calls and the feedbacks whatever they are getting. We are getting it to on Excel, and then we are analyzing it, and if needed we are escalating, and as well as we are calling the customers and solving their problems. And right now currently I'm working with Byju's. My work over here is I'm gathering data from the different departments over here. If I could say, the thing is, over in Byju's there are two departments, like one is pre-sales and post-sales. So I'm working with post-sales department. In this department, like what happens, I'm reporting to a manager who is in charge of those post-sales teams, such as email team, calling team, and other teams are there. So daily there will be new requirement. Currently I'm working on Excel, Power BI, and SQL as well. SQL to retrieve data from the database, and Excel we use for the daily analysis and pivoting it, and Power BI we used to create. With the Power BI we used to create daily and monthly and weekly reports over here.
Um, That's good. One thing I want to highlight here, like in IT industry, like we have to be very straightforward in our answer. Okay, it's very important, and especially when you reach a leadership role. Okay, you have to use less number of words, and in that you have to give more content. Okay, your speech, your answer, your content, your presentation should not be verbose. I mean, it should not appear that okay, you are reading some newspaper. Are you getting my point? Because IT industry is working on digital format, zeros, ones, true, false, yes, no. Especially if you're dealing with US client or European client. Okay, they prefer the answer in yes, no. cut to cut. Okay. A UK client, if you are discussing, if you're working with them, and they need little bit description. Okay. So like that means when you will jump that ladder, no, you will get trained on all those things that if you're working with US client, how to deal with them. If you're working with German client, how to deal with them. Okay, but that's a different topic discussion. So here you see, I have asked the question that tell me about yourself, right? I have not asked you that your roles and responsibilities. Correct. That was not my question. Correct. But that's good. You told me about your roles and responsibilities in Byju's. That's fine, but you have to be very specific. So from this, we will think that, okay, he has not given concentration to my question, what I have asked, because I only have asked that, okay, tell me about yourself. So you can tell that, okay, fine. If you will ask me, I will tell, like, I have done BTech in 2011 from electronics and communication stream. And then I joined Infosys. I worked there for 4 years as an analyst. Then I moved to some other company. There I work on this designation. Like that, you can do. That's all. Means try to complete this in 30 seconds to 1 minute. Okay. So that is fine. And this is for everyone. Hope you guys are listening to me. Okay. So this is very important. You have to be cut to cut. Means what interviewer is asking and what you're answering. It shows that you are punctual. You are listening the things properly. Okay. Any question from this perspective from anyone? Okay. No questions. Now after this, once you explained about yourself. And then again, in that, don't tell about your hobbies and all those things if the interviewer is not asking. Okay. And now my question is, what is your roles and responsibilities? That is the next question because interviewer wants to understand that what all tasks you have done, what all roles and responsibilities you have taken in your previous organization. Okay. And then in his mind, he will evaluate that whatever he has done and what is the requirement in the country, in the company, means how much your resume is justifying that. But that is the reason the interviewer asked the roles and responsibilities, that what all things you have done. Maybe uh, you have been part of the team who has worked on a missile. Okay, but in my team, I have to work on a car, right? So those two things are different. Sometimes it happens that in the candidate to whom I'm interviewing, he knows a lot of things, but that is not required in my job profile. That is again means you have to take care of that as well. Okay. So now coming to your roles and responsibilities, can you repeat it?
Yeah, definitely. Currently, I'm working with Byju's as a process specialist, and where my work is to gather the requirement from the team as well as data. Like daily, the requirement will be different and the data will be different. As I'm not at all working for a particular team, it is for the whole post sales team. In this particular post sales team, there are lots of departments and there are lots of requirement daily basis. For an example, if I could say like precisely, for an email resolution team, they want to know what is going to be the flow. They want to forecast it, and apart from that, they want to know where they are lacking and how many customers are there which are getting which for which the concern is getting resolved and what is pending over there. And for an example, one more for a customer experience team, whenever the agent is calling to a particular customer, and if he is giving a satisfied answer, then they will rate onto them, and their feedbacks is what the company is working for. So they'll want us to prepare a dashboard about the customer service as well as ERT like that. And apart from that, we need to analyze as an process specialist. I have to analyze as well as provide insights onto it with the different concerns.
One word you have used, lots of sources are there, right? So lots of
Mhm.
sources means maybe means it seems that okay, a lot of sources were there, right? So instead of that, you can tell that okay, I was working with n number of sources. Okay. So don't tell a lot of sources. I was working with n number of sources, right? Okay. So that's fine. I understood. Like you're working with a number of sources, you're gathering data, and finally you have to provide the insights to the business, right? Okay. So can you tell me any challenge which you have faced in this roles and responsibilities, what you're doing in your current organization.
Yeah, sure. Actually, there was a time what happened is I have been shared with the email resolution team data. So I have been asked to check all the cases which were get resolved. So it was a Excel file. So there were lots of null values into it. In Byju's, what happens is as the team is working on Salesforce, but we are not able to get the data from the Salesforce. So it is the Google form which they are filling, and there were lots of null values onto it. And it was pretty challenging for me to check all the thing and provide a solution onto it. Like if we want to know particularly how many cases are resolved, or how many cases they have done. So if someone is not at all pasting the case ID, so you will not be able to get those data. So onto that, I have overcome with this. The thing is, I have get in touch with the manager and I have explained him what are the challenges that I have faced with the data, and they have told me to replace it with the case ID which has already been worked, and the customers who are already getting, like the customer who are giving repeated mails to them. So that is how I have overcome it. So if I say, like, the challenges is there where, like, as the data is not at all perfect, never be a perfect, we will have to transform it as per the business solutions, like as per the business requirement. So this is what the challenge was, and I have overcome it like that.
So you like that the challenge what you have faced was with the data, right? A lot of null values were there. Okay, so that's fine, good. So just a quick answer I want to understand. Like here, you approached your manager, right? So before approaching your manager, you might have done some root cause analysis, or you might have tried to find some other solution. So can you tell us something like what you have done to find a solution to that particular business problem?
Yes, actually, before getting in touch with the manager, as I have mentioned, that that is the case ID only which has to be there. If we want to know a unique column, if we want to have a unique column, case ID for each and every case is unique only. So what happens is, I have checked with that. Like I have checked, I have taken the distinct count, and apart from that, as there was lots of null values, I was not able to come to the conclusion what are the cases, like what is the total number of cases which has got resolved. So as I was not coming, like I was not able to get into the conclusion, because the distinct also, the null value will also be like it will ignore, but still as the data, like if we take account of the particular case, so on to which whatever the columns is already there, if it is a null also, it will show up. So if we are going for the distinct count, then only it will give us the unique values, and it will it will exclude null. But still there is no conclusion onto it. So I felt that is why I have to get in touch with the manager, and they have told me, like, in this what we can do, take the email of the particular customer and then check, like search for all the emails that they have done, and we can paste, like we can put that case ID which has already been worked on.
So again, that null was the headache, right? Okay. And I have in all the batches I have mentioned is that always in any ETL project, null will always be something like which will bother you, and you have to be very careful with handling null. Okay. So okay, fine. So you told like null value was there and you were struggling with that. So means you can directly reject those null records, no?
Yeah, but the thing is, if
Right.
we reject, like we will not be able to get the whole count of what are the cases which has got resolved.
Okay.
So
Oh,
we cannot even reject it, and we cannot even include it as a null. So that is why I'll
okay.
have to, like, to find a solution onto it, where like it was a conflict. I was not able to get into the conclusion what to do and what not to do. So it is better to reach out to the manager and ask them, as they have the proper like appropriate decision making onto them, and they know the process like better. That is the only reason why I have get in touch with the manager, and it got resolved, thankfully.
Good. That's good. Like if you're struggling with something in a project and if the interviewer is asking you this question, okay, so you have to tell that you have tried your level best. First of all, you have to prove this, okay, that you have tried your level best. You should not tell that, okay, I was working in this particular requirement and there was some issue. Maybe the issue was with data or the requirement or any other thing. So you should not tell that directly. I went to the manager and I told that, okay, this was a problem. You have to show that you have tried your level best. Okay. And again, if you will tell that, the interviewer will not accept it. You have to tell that with some data point that you have written this query, like you told about the distinct and the account, right? So likewise, you have to tell some data points like, okay, I have written this query. I tried with this concept. I applied this logic, but still it was not working. Then I thought to connect with the manager because they're having some strict timelines. Very important thing. Okay, good. Okay, so you told like you're working with SQL as well, right? So how much you can rate yourself in SQL on a scale of 10?
On scale of 10, I can rate myself 9.
Okay, 9 is pretty good. Okay, but I will recommend never 9 in the interview because if you're telling 9 means this is for everyone I'm telling. If you're telling 9 means it proves that okay, you are very strong in SQL. Okay, so even if you're very strong in SQL, no, don't tell 9. Okay, tell that okay, am between I am I will rate myself on a scale of 10, like I'm at the 8 pointer. Okay. 9 months, the interviewer think, oh, he's thinking that he's over smart, he knows a lot of things. And then he'll start bombarding you with tough questions. So be on a safer side, telling that, okay, I'm on a scale of 8. Okay. And again, you should not tell 6. Okay. Then they will underestimate you. Because suppose if we are interviewing you for data analyst role or data engineering role, and if someone rate himself on a scale of 10 on 6 only in SQL, it means he's an average guy, right? So again, you should not tell that. So even so, my understanding is you should tell between 7 to 8, okay, or tell 8, okay. So that's good. Can you tell me like why we should go for SQL? Okay, like uh, in the data analyst project, what is the importance of SQL?
Sir, I have one doubt. Sorry to
Yeah,
interrupt.
yeah, yeah, please tell me.
Regarding this point, like you were saying, when in every interview which I have been through, they always ask about like how do you rate yourself on the scale of 10 or maybe 5. So like sometimes in the interview, what I have felt is usually I give answer as 8, and if they have mentioned like n number of times that we want very strong sequel, then I say 7. But they get very offended if you say 7 or 8. They start
Hmm.
they start the interview with the intention ki, like you are not that good enough. We were hoping that somebody who is very good, like maybe 9.5 or 10 on 10 on the sequel would be working with us. So they like start the interview on that pace only ki, in with a negative intention ki, that this person is not knowing that much. So from the next interview, what I had started doing, I started saying that since it's a very broad language and everything is very broad, so we cannot say ki I don't know anything, and I cannot promise you ki like I am 9 on 10. That's why I am rating myself 8 on 10 or maybe 7 on 10. So in that situation, I don't know what to say. Like, what will be the most appropriate answer?
Correct. I totally agree. And you know, like a lot of thing, it depends on the interviewer mindset as well and his mood as well. Okay, so we don't have to be that much specific. Okay, I totally agree with you. That's why I told like on a cipher side, you can tell 8. Okay, and
Okay.
then he will start asking you question. Now with the answers, you have to justify that how
Okay.
much strong you are. In SQL.
Hmm.
Okay, that's what I'm telling you. Because 8 is not a bad number. Out of 10, if you know 8, it's a good number. If you're telling 9, means if I'm taking interview and if someone is saying that yeah, I rate myself 9 on 10, because SQL is a very big word. If you're
Right.
telling 9 on 10, I will make an impression that, oh, he's very smart in SQL. I will start bombarding with tough questions.
Hmm.
Okay. So yeah, the safer side is 8. Let him ask questions. It's not like the moment you will say you will say 7 or 8, he will stop the interview. No, no, no. He will
Hmm.
ask questions. Now with the answers, okay, with each and every answer, give the justification. Many times it happens. My students they have appeared for the interview, and the interviewer has appreciated the knowledge of SQL because they have quoted the examples and try to steal the opportunity to explain your SQL query with the internal working of engine. try to steal that opportunity.
Mhm.
If you have written a SQL query about joins, tell them that how the join works. Then that will give some different impression. Okay, and that will also prove that, oh, this guy is not overrating something, because in the project when you will work now, many times you have to rate something, like you're working in a particular story or task. Okay, then during the sprint call or the sprint, before we start any sprint, no, we have that sprint review meeting. In
Hmm.
that, you have to tell that how much effort it will take to solve a particular task. Okay, so if you're telling 9, that is like, oh, you're very smart in SQL. So better, as per my understanding, tell it as 8, because 8 is not a bad number. Again, if you will tell 7 or 6, earlier I had told that, so the interviewer will think that, oh my God, this is data analyst job profile based on SQL only, and he knows he rate himself only 6 or 7. Okay, that will give a little bit negative impression. That's why I will suggest keep it at 8. Okay, that's for my understanding. But when you're answering the question, very important, whatever question interviewer is asking, try to explain it with the internal mechanism, how this query is working. It should not reflect that you have mugged up one day before the interview, and just in the interview process you're vomiting all those things. It should not reflect that. Okay,
But
okay, answer the
sir,
question. Yeah, yes, sir.
yeah, sometimes what happen, no, like interviewer comes with the mindset only, like the candidate should only be able to generate the output. Like both kind of interviewers are there. The one with
Mhm.
the one you are explaining, like the candidate should be able to explain how the query is working. So those kind of interviews, in my experience, what I have observed, like those who are having experience of, let's say, more than 10 years, they really want to conduct the interview in that manner. If the candidate is able to explain how the query is working, then he appreciates the candidate. And even if you are stuck
Right.
somewhere, the interviewer will motivate, like they motivate you to complete your answer. But what is happening, no, these days, like very young guys are taking the interviews. For me, this is happening, and they simply want the output. They never wants to understand how the query is working, how good are my basics. They simply want, if you are able to publish the output, then it's done. Otherwise, it like they're working in 0 or 1 only. There is no middle ground.
I totally agree. I have faced this, and even in a few batches, I have told about this. Like once I was facing one interview, and in that interview, the interviewer was challenging each and every answer what I was telling, and he was telling it is incorrect. At a certain point of time, I was irritated, and then when he was asking the other set of questions, I told that I don't know, I don't know, I don't know. Okay, this has happened, and that company is in Hyderabad, and that company has branch in Pune as well. It's a well-known company. I will not tell the name, but you know what happened? That interview process was getting recorded. Okay. And then after 1 week, HR called me and he told me that we will reschedule your interview. So even I was surprised because that interview didn't went well, but that interview was getting recorded, and maybe that HR guys, no, they have understood that what was going on at the back end, right? So it can happen. That's what I told. Many things depends on the interviewer mood as well. But a matured interviewer, okay, so when they take interview, they will check that, okay, really you know the logic or not, you are serious with this job profile or not, how much honest you are, how much dedicated you are, because we know it's not possible that a particular guy can know everything, right? Even maybe certain things I don't know in SQL, it's possible, right? So that's what the mature interview, when they will take interview, the intention is they will check, okay, do you know this? Or if you don't know, are you open to learn? We will train you. So this all things happens. Okay. So that's great. Thanks a lot, Nisha, sharing your experience. Any other question for the participant before I
Yes, sir.
proceed with the
Yes.
next question?
Sir.
Yeah, yes, please.
So one small question, sir. Like whenever the interviewer asks us any question, so do we have to answer immediately, or like we can take a time to think and like we can answer them in our own like, time limit?
Your voice is too low. Can you come closer to mic?
Hello. Am I audible now, sir?
You're audible. I think you are on speaker mode. Maybe, yeah, please go ahead.
Hello, am I audible now, sir?
Yeah, it's good now. Yeah, please go ahead.
Oh, yes, I was saying that like whenever the interviewer asks us any questions, so do we have to answer the question immediately, or like take a time to think the answer and like make up the answer on our mind on like and then give the answer, or like we have to like say as soon as they ask the question or like we have to just answer immediately?
Uh, Generally, like you see, one thing I will tell you, like when you're working in the IT industry, okay, so we are dealing with the technical terms, okay. So suppose you're giving presentation, you are explaining the ETL architecture. I'm just giving one example, or you're giving presentation about a report. So these all things are technical terms, right? It's not like a newspaper. You will keep on reading it. So when you're explaining the technical terms, take some time, take some pauses in between. Okay, that should not be like a running train. Got it? So if the interviewer is asking questions, obviously you should not start bombarding with the answers. Take some time, but again, that time should not be 10 seconds or 15 seconds. Okay. It should be like you can start after 4 seconds or 5 seconds. Okay. There are scenarios where the interviewer is asking question and you don't know the answer. And I have told many times that sometimes intentionally interviewer will ask you a question and the interviewer knows that you don't know the answer for that. Are you getting this? Like suppose if I'm interviewing for 3 years or 4 years of experience a candidate, I know that he will not be having good understanding of recursive CT or correlated query. I'm just giving you an example, okay? I will ask him that, okay, do you know recursive CT? Why I'm asking this question? Because I want to test here. I know that he doesn't know. Maybe if he or she can know, that can be exceptional scenario. But I'm testing like in the project. If I'm allocating him a task which he has never done, then how he will react in the project. That's the intention. We we get a proper training before we take interview. Okay. So in those cases, what you have to do, you please never create stories. If you don't know something, never create stories. Suppose if I ask recursive CT to 4 year or 3 years experience candidate, and if he doesn't know recursive CT and he's making stories about that, so I will catch that, right? Because I know recursive city, correct? I will catch it that, oh, he's making a story. So literally, I will think that, oh, he's making me fool, correct? So that's why if you don't know the answer for some question, and it's practical. Again, same thing I'm saying. It's not possible that what are questions interviewer is asking, you'll have an answer for that. No, no, no. It is accepted in an interview in a decent way, in a disciplined way. If you're able to answer 70% question, that is perfect. Okay. Nobody's expecting you to answer all the 100% question. Okay. Now, if you don't know the answer for a particular question, immediately again don't tell that I don't know this answer. I don't know the answer. Don't tell immediately. Take some 20, 30 seconds. And still if you don't have any clue, at least act that oh you are thinking something. Okay. And if you know to certain extent, tell them that okay, I don't know the exact answer, but I think this is related to this concept or here this is happening. Okay. But if you are totally blind, then after 20, 30 seconds, you tell them that sorry, I don't have any clue about that. But that's a very good question. I will try to find out the answer after this, the interview process. Okay. So when you're telling this, one thing is clear. You have to get 20, 30 seconds in the beginning. It means in the project, if you're getting some tough task, you will try your level best. Correct? You will not surrender. Fine. Then after that, you will agree, you will accept that, okay, I don't know this. So sometimes what happens, we have faced this. We have allocated tasks to the freshers or to that 2, 3 years experienced guys. They don't know the solution, but they've done something. And ultimately, when we reviewed, we found very I mean, it was beyond our expectation. Sometime that was deployed in the production, and we have faced escalations from the client. So that's why if you don't know, tell the interviewer that sorry, I don't have any idea. But I will try to find the reason for that. And if they are asking, suppose, sometime they will ask questions from Unix shell scripting, those who are from data engineering background. They can ask questions from Unix shell scripting. Okay. If you don't know about Unix shell scripting, tell them that sorry, I don't have much idea about Unix shell scripting. But I know this is very important to work on the data engineering job profile. For sure, after this, I will try to get trained on that. Or you can tell that if I will get an opportunity in the company, for sure, I'm a quick learner. I will try to learn this. So that shows the positive that okay, fine, this guy has a positive mentality. Okay, is that clear?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you,
Okay,
sir.
good. Fine. Okay, so coming back to Shehbaz, so that's good. So Shehbaz, can you tell me some when you're working in a project, okay, and a particular query is taking a lot of time to execute, okay, it's taking a lot of time. Means you have written a query and it is taking a lot of time to display the output, okay. You have applied all the performance optimization skill sets, whatever you know, okay. In that case, what you will do? Hope my question is clear.
Yeah, actually, you want to know like if there is a case like where I'm not able to like I'm writing every query and I'm trying to put all the performance optimization metrics that I can add on my query, but still it is taking lots of time. Is it correct?
Correct, correct. Then what you will do in that case?
So on to that, like if I say like uh if it is taking time like after the optimization and techniques that I know I have used, so we can even do like we can even write functions for that, like instead of writing the whole query again and again, and as you are mentioning like it is taking time. So if we are writing a function, then we can use it like with a particular, if we are giving up a parameter or a name, if we can call that particular query, like a particular statement, then it is definitely going to help us. It won't take
Okay,
that much time that it is taking.
okay, okay, good. The intention for asking this question was sometimes it happens in your project. You applied all your technical skills, okay, but even you're not getting the result what you're looking for. Okay, sometimes it happens in the project. So that was the intention. I was checking that. In that case, what you will do? So, like the question what I have asked, in that case, your query is taking a lot of time to display the result. Okay, you applied all the performance skills, whatever you know. Okay, in that case, what you have to do, you have to connect with the team lead because the lead, maybe he knows any other scenario or he knows any other stuff which can help, which can be helpful. Okay, one thing. So if you're telling this, it shows that in the project you will not be working in silos. Okay, it shows that you don't have ego. You are open to take help from someone. And it happens in project, right? So sometimes if you don't know anything, sometimes maybe from your junior you have to take help. I'm working in a project. I don't know initial scripting. I have to read a file which my source team has sent in the Unix server. And my junior knows that. We'll take help from my junior. That's not a problem. Okay. That's the one thing. Second thing is you have to tell that, okay, we will connect with the DBA team, database administrator. Okay. That maybe there is some traffic issue. Okay. Maybe they have to increase the, what I can say, the database size or there's some RAM issue, any other issue, you will check with that team. So it shows that you're open for collaborating with other teams, means connecting with the other teams. It's not like you are still struggling with that query and you have taken 2 3 days. Is that clear to everyone? Okay. So from these questions, you are proving that okay, you are open to take help from others. You're not working in silos. Okay. Hope this is clear. Any question, anyone? Okay, good. So now can you tell me one thing, like between CT and subquery, which one is good from performance perspective?
From the performance perspective, CT is good only. Actually, in CT, what happens is it creates a virtual table at first in which we are querying, and then we are proceeding with all the queries at one time, and it is showing the result. And if we are going for the subquery, like in a particular subquery, we will have to run like we will have to get like if we are suppose there is a particular scenario in which we need to find out the particular employee ID which has like which is having a duplicate on it, like duplicate employee IDs, which is there in the employee ID column. So onto which, if we are using subquery, then what will happen is it will create two tables virtually. So first it is like select star from particular table that we are trying to refer, and apart from that, then the next query, what will do, next query will again have a two virtual tables. So onto which, like it is again like performance, if we say about the performance optimization perspective, it will take time to run.
So I will stop you here. That's good. Okay, almost what you were telling that was correct. These are some of the commonly asked questions in the interview. Okay, like the difference between CT and subquery, which one is good from performance, and to find the nth highest salary, write a query to remove the duplicate records. I have shared this few questions as well. These are a few of the ready-made questions. So these ready-made questions answers should be at the tip of your tongue. Okay, for everyone I'm telling, should be at the tip of your tongue, and you should be ready with the example and tell to the interviewer that, okay, fine, I have answered for that, and prepare some tables. Okay, maybe if you can share the screen, you share the screen to the interviewer, and in Excel sheet, prepare a table, and you should be ready with all those things, because at that moment, obviously, we'll be a little bit nervous as well. Okay, and sometimes it happens, you know the answer, but because of the nervousness, you will not get that at that moment, right? So try to prepare the table, okay, and then write the query, okay, and then explain that. Don't tell that, okay, this is a query. Okay, try to steal that opportunity and explain that how this query is working, like how I used to explain in that Excel sheet, right? So explain that, okay, this data is coming from here, it is mapping with this, and then this is the output. If you're able to explain that properly, so it proves that, okay, whatever he knows in a perfect way. Okay, so that's good. Now, any question from the participant?
Sir, I wanted to ask one question in this regard.
Hmm.
Is that how do we structure our answer for the interviewer to tell like, sorry, yeah, how to do we structure our answer to tell the interviewer that this is the explanation or the root analysis of my code? Like you said, no, like we can create table and then how you explain in our classes. So how do we do that, or how do we structure that? Because sometimes maybe the interviewer is just expecting us to give the code and show us the answer. So how do we judge that call? How to take
One
that call?
thing, one thing during interview, whatever you are telling, okay, interviewer will not trust it. You have to prove it with your explanation, with your data point. If I'm telling I'm very strong in SQL, you will not accept it, right? But if I'm teaching you some good concepts in SQL or some exceptional concepts in SQL, then to a certain extent you will trust, oh, this guy knows all these things, right? So during interview, this is very important. You have to show the content. Best way is be ready with the Excel sheet. Okay, format how I used to teach you. Be ready with the Excel sheet. Tell to the interviewer that can you please allow me to share my screen. Share your screen. Prepare tables like how I used to prepare. And in that, tell them, because without showing, if you will explain, no, that this table is there, the data is there, ID is there, name and salary is there, it is coming to this, it is matching, he will not understand. And you have to waste a lot of energy. So that's why the technical stuffs, when you are explaining something, so to draw the diagrams and all those things, okay, and tell them that, okay, I want to share my screen, and in that you prepare tables, and then tell all those things like how I used to explain you. So this is what I will suggest you. But instead of that, if you're just explaining in your virtual world, okay, so everything will look hypothetical, okay, like you are playing with your imagination. Okay, hope I answered the question, Bruce.
Yes, sir. Pretty well.
Okay,
So
fine.
you are saying that instead of writing query, explain the query through Excel so that he gets an overview of everything.
No, you have to write query as well. You have to write query as well. But that query, explain it with the Excel sheet, how it is working. That's what I'm telling. You have to
Okay,
write query, of
then
course, and don't bother about the syntax. Okay, even if the syntax little bit, because yesterday, day before yesterday, I think Anil has told the same thing. Because that interviewer are least bothered about the syntax. They're checking the logics. Okay. Any other question, anyone? No.
One
Okay.
question, sir, Sahil, yes, sir.
So, yeah, right.
So one small question, sir. Like sometimes it so happens that even though we have ample amount of knowledge about SQL, Python, or whatever the interview is about, so sometimes it may happen like the interviewer is not interested, like that is not giving us too much attention, like is not like interested in us. How do we get the attention,
Mhm.
sir? How do we catch the attention
You
of the interviewer?
cannot do anything. You cannot do anything. That is the problem with the interviewer. Then he has to work on it. Okay. We cannot change ourselves. Like if the person who is sitting in front of me, he's mentally retarded, I cannot do anything in that case, right? So always it is not necessary that something is missing in myself, right? That's what I told. It depends on the interviewer mood as well. Or maybe sometimes it happens that I have a lot of work. Even then, HR has given me a lot of resume, and he is telling me that okay, then we please take the interview. So of course, in that case, I'm working on my project as well. I'm taking interview. Okay, in that case, you can't do anything. Okay, so that's what whatever I told you. Generally follow this format. Okay, interview, and sometime again the interviewer, even if you're telling the right answer, interviewer wants that answer what he knows. In that case, what you can do, you're not a magician, right? That you will read his mind, what is present in his mind, right? So in that case, you cannot do anything. Okay. But sometimes we lose interest that if you are making a stories, I'm asking something, you're answering something. In that case, we lose interest. Okay, so that's why your answer should be crisp. Okay, give a content answer. Okay, don't make it more English like essays and all those things. And then I will stop here. Hope you all have enjoyed this mock interview. Intentionally, I have not asked much technical question because the intention was to tell you about that interview process. Okay. So thanks a lot, everyone. We'll connect in the next week. Okay. Thank you. Take care. And thanks, Dr. Shahbaz, for taking out your time.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Take care. Bye.
thank you, Tanvi, for taking time for us.